Whew, we've been busy. Geronimo! Okay, so it's been a while since we made a video, but I have been busy working on some of the structure around here. So let's take a quick kind of recap of it. We've got this center column heading up, going up the center. That's pretty cool on the inside, and it surrounds the shaft that goes down to bedrock on the outside. Also been working on a walkway with a hand railing that goes around the outside of the base. And I screwed the crusher over to this area, which will be our beginning ore processing area. So we're going to have the ores coming down here. They fall into this conveyor belt. And then right now they're just being tossed into this chest, which is filling up, as is this chest and this chest. So there are different ways of processing the ores, and I went through and figured out which one I wanted to use for each different type of ore. So these are ones that we will use the crusher for. So diamond, emerald, gold, silver, lead, and a bunch of nether ores. These are the ones that work better in the pulverizer, like steel, saltpeter, apatite, lapis. And these are some of the ores that work better in other things. So we'll set up specialized processing for each one of those. Like glowstone, we'll probably just store it as is. Nether quartz, the best way to do nether quartz is actually to put it in an induction smelter with soul sand. And we also have things like iridium, Certus quartz, ferrous, and shiny ore. So we're going to need some serious sorting. This is a lot of ores to sort out. And I want to try out Steve's factory manager first to see if we can get some cool sorting without using a ton of space. So let's go ahead and make a factory manager and get busy. So we need a Steve's factory inventory manager. As you can see, the recipe is very, very difficult to make. And we got some inventory cable as well. Okay, so I put down an inventory manager and inventory cable, put some conveyor belts on top of it just to make sure that it'll see this as an inventory. We set it to trigger at every 3 seconds or so. It should be plenty. Inventories for the input is going to be from the chest right beside it. And here we see the conveyor belt above. So that does look like a valid inventory, which is good. And we have whitelisted coal ore. Later on, we'll use the whitelist to do our sorting for us. Last step, I'll put the sorted items onto the conveyor belt on the very top. Alright, so we notice there's cobble, lapis, none of that's being pulled out, but as soon as we put in some coal ore, we see that it pulls it out, tosses it on the conveyor belt, and it comes across here. Okay, proof of concept done. Now let's grab this. Normally, if you have a big program written, you don't want to break that, but that was just a test. So go to conveyor belt, dropping items from up top into this chest. We're going to put the inventory manager at the bottom, so now it can see the input, the diamond chest, and then this conveyor belt on top will be our output. And then later on we'll add different conveyor belts so we can output different items too, and that'll be how we sort with. Okay, well, time to set all this up and get my whitelist set up so we can actually do some sorting. Okay, so I have my items set up for the whitelist. You can see I got a bunch of different things in here, and actually I overloaded how many I was able to use, so I had to set up another trigger that was also activated on a 3-second interval, and it will look for the other items that I was unable to put in the first group. So that will get us taken care of. And if we need any more, we can add more to it as we need them. So now we have the items fall into the conveyor belt, go around the corner, and then right now they're just being stored in this chest. Later on we'll have them dropped into the crusher. So we got put right there. At this point we're going to need some better way of powering this thing if I'm going to make it more automatic. So I've got an energy cell on it, but I have to keep recharging it. So I'm going to make a 8x culinary generator, get the QED rolling. And right now it's called the Quantum Entanglement Doohickey, and now it's called the Quantum Enrichment Device. Alright, no matter what it's called, we have a transfer node, which is what we need. That'll make us an 8x culinary generator, and I also need some cabling, grab some vibrant alloy, and there we go. Made a little too much, but we'll have some for later. Go ahead and pick up the energy cell, grab that. We'll put the energy cell on the wall as a buffer, the generator directly below that. I didn't bring a hopper, make one of those really quick, and we'll grab a cache of eggplant. Got several of those laying around. Put the hopper and the eggplant on top of it. That'll fill up the generator, keep the hardened energy cell topped off, and now to run some conduit. It connects to the crusher right here, and down. Awesome. This is going to extract, always active, and insert, always active. Now what we need is to get the other setup going. We have these ores that we want to pulverize, so we need to make some pulverizers. We're going to make them resonant so we can upgrade them later. We'll need a couple tin gear, some basic machine frames, a couple electrum gear. That'll make a hardened machine frame. Need some signalum, and we're done. Make a couple gears. Need some hardened glass or fused quartz, and that'll make a couple reinforced machine frames. Put some endurium, make a gear, add some silver, and there we go. Got our resonant machine frames. Make a couple pistons. Almost forgot those. Make some copper gears and a couple reception coils. Whew! Got our pulverizers. Alright. Resonant pulverizers. That's as good as they get. That'll give us more options for upgrading. Okay. Let's head back to the base. Place 1 and place 2. And their drops will come at the bottom, come into this conveyor belt, and go into the chest. We'll need to run some power to them. Set it to active. Active. I was trying to figure out why I had no power going through my ender conduits, but I bet it's because I don't have it configured to output out the top of the energy cell. There we go. Alright, so I got 2 pulverizers, but only 1 input. So I'm going to need to do something to split up the ores so that one pulverizer isn't doing all the work. Right now, this bottom one is the one that's going to the pulverizer. It's just going into this chest right now. But let's make a robin from Immersive Engineering so we can distribute it. To do that, we're going to need some treated wood planks to make a storage crate, make a couple steel mechanical components, and a little redstone. There we go, an item robin. Pull out the old gravity gun. We're going to move this chest out of the way. Just tap G. Put it over there for now. When we place the item robin, there's not a lot you can do with it. If you hold your hammer, you can see that it has an item count on each side, and right now they're all set to 0. What I'm going to do is set them to 1. Doesn't matter what kind of item you use, it can be anything. I'm going to say I want to send 1 item out this side. Let me right click. Item count set to 1, and item count set to 1. So now you can see south side 1, and east side 1. If I tap it with a hammer, then it's locked. You actually have to right click on it. So I'm going to put a couple hoppers on top of my pulverizers. One there, and we're just going to put down the conveyor belt on that side and on this side. So now if we pull a few items from down here, let's just say steel. We'll pulverize some steel. Come over here, toss it on the conveyor belt. There we go. That's going in there. It's going to come out this side, and it's going to pop it out 1 on each side. Nicely split. If that turns out to be too much for them, I may have to put another reception coil in them or add some extra pulverizers, but most of the time the ores will not be coming in that quickly. So the item robin did a really great job of splitting that up, and I could have put 5 to one side, 5 to the other, but 1 and 1 is pretty good split. And also we have the hopper to act as a buffer between the two. Okay, so the only thing we really need to do now is program this conveyor belt to take the other items across to the other side. Make a new trigger. If you tap here, you can actually change the name. Let's call it other ores. Save it. Interval 1 second. In this output, we're going to choose the inventory in the middle. So this is 5 blocks away. Whereas this one's 6, this one's 4, so we can tell this is the one in the middle. I got the other ores conveyor belt set up. Let's just drop a chest over here to store it in for now, because that's going to take a lot more time to set up the machines to process that. Come over here and connect this with this. Then we should see, there we go, a ton of ores all get dumped out all at once. And now it's all getting set up by the hopper. Okay. Alright, here we go. This is a nice better speed. So these are the ferrous ore, which we're going to do some different processing, probably through an induction smelter. And they will fall, drop into the hopper, bounce out of the hopper, maybe. Anyway, that'll work great. Well, that's a cool setup right now. I'll need to look into expanding my storage for the finished products. Hopefully get an ME system set up. Oh, by the way, I made a little water pool over here that I put, oh cool, it finished, some pure Certus quartz crystal into. So if you mix Certus quartz dust and sand, you get a little seed, and you can toss it into a water pool for like 6 to 8 hours, and it turns into a pure quartz crystal. So we'll maybe use some of these in the next episode or 2. Get a good storage system set up. Anyway, this room's starting to take shape now. I like where it's going. If you've got any comments, love to hear about them. But for today, this is it. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.